Shalom, beloveds. This is the book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 1. The words of the preacher, the son of David, king in Jerusalem. Vanity or futility, or futilities, vanity of vanities, saith the preacher. Vanity of vanities, all is vanity. And it truly is. We get so caught up in our own, yeah. What profit hath a man of all his labor which he taketh under the sun? One generation passeth away, and another generation cometh, but the earth abideth forever. So as we come and going, that's what they say, don't hate the player, don't hate the game. Or it's like, I didn't make the rules, I just play the game. Or, you're the dog or the hat or the thimble on the Monopoly board, and Earth is the game, the banker. We always try to come and try to change things that are already written. Yeah. The sun also ariseth, and sun goeth down. Everything knows its role, and hasteth to his place where he arose. The wind goeth toward the south, and turneth about around the north. It whirleth about continually, and the wind returneth again according to his circuits. All the rivers run into the sea, yet the sea is not full. Unto the place where whence the rivers come, thither they return. All things are full of labor, man cannot utter it. The eye is not satisfied with seeing, and that's true, and that's greed. We're never satisfied. We always just disgruntled. We always pissed off. We always frustrated. We always angry. Envious of other people's. We're just never satisfied with that win, that Super Bowl, that championship, or anything like that. That woman in your life, that man in your life. We always got to be running around complaining. Not satisfied with seeing, nor ear filled with hearing. The thing that hath been, it is that which shall be, and that which is done is that which shall be done. And there is no new thing under the sun. Is there anything whereof it may be said, see, this is new? It hath been already of old time, which was before us. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. I, the preacher, was king over Israel and Jerusalem, and I gave or set my heart to seek and search out by wisdom concerning all things that are done under heaven. This sore travail hath God given to the sons of man to be exercised therewith. So he's like, he gave us your work, he gave us what to do. So for you to walk through the door. I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit, a grasping for the wind. And it truly is, like, you gotta understand this world is wicked. And everything you think you do or everything you think you know, it has some type of infestation of wickedness or debauchery or scarlet Jezebelism. Like, it's just, you gotta take it into consideration. Like, truly humble yourself, listen, understand, just be enough open to be able to digest that part, that what you may be doing may not be really good. You may be overly convinced it may be good because you're getting rewards from it, you're getting trinkets, you're getting money or anything like that. But do take it in consideration, whether it's the job, whether it's the relationship you're in, the activities that you're involved in. So, okay, let me go back. Is there anything whereof that we said, see, this is new? It had been already of old time, there which was before us. There is no remembrance of former things, neither shall there be any remembrance of things that are to come with those that shall come after. I, the preacher, was king over Israel and Jerusalem, And I set my heart and search out wisdom concerning all things that are done under heaven. This sword travail hath God given to the sons of man to be exercised therewith. I have seen all the works that are done under the sun, and behold, all is vanity and vexation of spirit. That which is crooked cannot be made straight, and that which is wanting or lacking cannot be numbered. And that's deep. Sometimes when it's like things are already far gone, it's like, people may think that, you're just too far gone. You know, you can't fix things, you can't change people. Sometimes you're too old to mold. Sometimes you are stubbornly too old to mold that no matter how much water that somebody puts on that clay, it still is not breaking down. It's still not trying to formulate itself into a new mold, not even just be formlessness, be able to be adjustable, be able to be flexible, be able to be compromising. When you are those things, that's because you have an understanding, you have compassion, not only with yourself, but whatever you're dealing with, person, place, thing, or idea. But when you're too hard to mold, yeah, you actually break easier. When you're too hard to mold, it's just so hard for you to, yeah. Whew. Great glory. I communed with mine own heart, saying, Lo, I am come to great estate or greatness, and have gotten more wisdom than all they that have been before me in Jerusalem. Yea, my heart had great experience of wisdom and knowledge, and I gave my heart to know wisdom and to know madness and folly. So you're given witness, you're given wisdom to know the difference of good and bad, to know not to be a fool and when not to be a fool. And it's always the old saying, when you knew better, you do better. When you know better, you know better. It's not like you ain't had all the examples that have been in front of your eyes on a consistent basis since you were a kid. We've all had experiences here on this earth. We've all seen it, whether in our own life, whether in next to the people that we are in company with, whether it's in the literature, the propaganda in the media, um, video games, movies, TV shows. It doesn't matter. We have all had, and even with the internet, the advent of the internet being in our livelihood now, even within the last, you know, let's say 30 years, you look at it like, it's grown up. It's got on out of high school. It's graduated college with a bachelor's, a master's, a PhD. It's actually working on his doctorate right now. You know what I'm saying? So you can see how technology has advanced itself to be able to interconnect us, to be interoperable and cross border, to be able to bring us all together to where even as I'm speaking to you now, I'm heard all around the world on all platforms. So live on TikTok, live on Instagram, live on X, Kick, Facebook, Twitch, YouTube. How amazing is that to have your trumpet be able to reverberate around the whole world and to be able to be there and touch somebody and help somebody. But wisdom, you must always seek it. I perceive that this is also a vexation of spirit, for much wisdom is much grief. Yeah, without wisdom, you have to go through the pain in order to gain. You just don't get there's no Lulu Dallas multipass access pass to just being able to get something without having to have given. You have had to have given that pound of flesh. You have had to have given that money, that time, that blood, sweat, and tears. You have had to give your all in order to gain that peace. You had to have your heart broken in order for you to have healed. You know? So without the other, you can't get to the other. For as much wisdom is grief, and he that increaseth knowledge increases sorrow. So it's new levels, new devils. You just work so hard to get out of one situation to end up in the next bowl of dookie. Chapter 2. I said in mine heart, go to now. I will prove thee with mirth. Before enjoy pleasure, and behold, this is also vanity. I said of laughter. I did not expect that call right now. Hold on, y'all. The devil is a liar. Get those random calls. Wow. Sorry about that, y'all. Chapter 2. I said in mine heart, to go to now, I will prove thee with mirth. Therefore enjoy pleasure, and behold, this also is vanity. I said of laughter, it is mad, and of mirth, what doeth it? I sought in my heart to give myself unto wine, yet acquainting mine heart with wisdom. So you can't mix water and you can't mix, wine or alcohol. They don't complement each other. Alcohol and good decisions don't complement each other. You pretty much make very bad decisions when you're drinking. And to lay hold on folly, till I might see what was that good for the sons of men, which they should do under the heaven all the days of their life. I made me great works, I builded me house, and planted me vineyards. I made me gardens and orchards, and I planted trees in them of all kinds of fruits. I made me pools of water to water or irrigate therewith the wood that bringeth forth trees. I got me servants, or male or female servants, and maidens, and had servants born in my house. Also I had great possessions of great and small cattle, above all that were in Jerusalem before me. I gathered me also silver and gold, and the peculiar treasure of kings, and of the provinces. I gat me men singers and women singers, and the delights of the sons of men, as musical instruments, and that of all sorts. So I was great, and increased more than all that were before me in Jerusalem. Also my wisdom remained with me, and whatsoever mine eyes desired, I kept from them. That's beautiful. I withheld not my heart from any joy. So that means don't get jaded. Don't get, don't be bitter. Don't get jaded. It's hard not to, but it does happen. Like I said, you had to have gone through the pain and the sorrow in order to gain. So don't withhold the opportunity for you to be able to grow or be happy. I know you was hurt. I know that person broke your heart. They cheated, whatever the case may be. It happens. You're gonna fall down. You're gonna lose you're gonna lose a job. You're gonna lose your money. You're gonna lose this. You're gonna lose that. But it's not over. It's gonna be all right. It's gonna be all right. For my heart rejoiced in all my labor, and this was my portion of all my labor. And even when you labor in it, you didn't give your all. Know that you give it all in the glory to God. Know that He He sees the meditation of your heart. And that's what it takes. Then I looked on all the works that my hands had wrought, and on the labor that I had labored to do. And behold, all was vanity, or futility, and vexation of the spirit. And that's what we're getting tricked about right now. We're getting really tricked about the things that we're thinking we're mistaking the good for the bad and the bad for good. And I turned myself to behold wisdom, and madness and folly. For what can the man do that cometh after the king? Even that which hath been already done. Then I saw that wisdom excelleth folly, as far as light excelleth darkness. The wise man's eyes are in his head, but the fool walketh in darkness. And I made myself perceive also that one event happeneth to them all. Then said in my heart, it happeneth to the fool, so it happeneth even to me. And why was I then more wise? Then I said in my heart that this also is vanity. So you can't think that you're not susceptible. You can't think that you're exempt and thinking that you can sit here and like point the finger and judge and be like, that person's going through this and stuff like that. Didn't you just get out of a situation that's similar like they went through and you now like, so check yourself before you wreck yourself, you know? Yeah, you might have been more wise because you went through the humility part of it. Like you had to be humiliated in order to be go through the humility. So, for there is no remembrance of the wise more than the fool forever. Seeing that which now is in the days to come shall all be forgotten. And how dieth the wise man as the fool? Therefore I hated life, because the work that is wrought under the sun is grievous unto me. For all is vanity and vexation of spirit. Yea, I hated all my labor which I had taken under the sun, because I shall leave it unto the man that shall be after me. Yeah, you're seeing that now. A lot of people getting fired and, just really not happy, just unsatisfied. And it's being left for the next person. If you're not going to do the work, somebody else is going to do it. And who knoweth whether he shall be a wise man or a fool? Yet shall he have rule over all my labor wherein I have labored, and wherein I have showed myself wise under the sun. This is also vanity. Therefore I went about to cause my heart to despair of all the labor which I took under the sun, or toiled. For there is a man whose labor is in wisdom, and it is in with skill, and in knowledge, and in equity, or his heritage. You use your skills to build your heritage. You use your skills that you were given through your heritage to develop and build from the ground up your legacy. For what hath a man of all his labor, and of the vexation of his heart, wherein he hath labored under the sun, or striving? For all his days are sorrows, and his travail grief. Yea, his heart taketh no rest in the night. This is also vanity. Wow, that's deep. That's speaking to me right there too. Many days that I went to, I let the sun rest on my pain and my wrath and my anger and my temper and my grief and my sadness and my depression. Like, you might not wake up in the morning, as the sun shines through my window blinds. I'm grateful that I'm able to go 110% from sunrise to sundown and to leave it all out there. And forgive yourself if you may not have gotten everything done. I used to beat myself up for thinking that, oh man, I gotta squeeze this in, I gotta squeeze this in, and you're just stressing yourself out. Don't do it. It's not worth it. Wait, hold on, I lose my place. I hated all my labor and leave it, man. All right, that's right, that's right. For what hath a man all his labor and the vexations of his heart wearing him yet? For all his days and sorrows and his travail grief, yea, his heart taketh no rest in the night. This is also vanity. You working day and night to make these companies happen instead of using your hands, given purpose. There is nothing better for a man than that he should eat and drink, and that he should make his soul enjoy good in his labor. This also I saw, that it was from the hand of God. For who can eat, or who else can hasten hereunto more than I, or have enjoyment? For God giveth to a man that is good in his sight wisdom, and knowledge, and joy. But to the sinner he giveth travail, to gather and to heap up, that he may give to him that is good before God. This also is vanity and vexation of the spirit. When you go through the tribulation and you gain the insight and the wisdom from that God gives you, he's testing you to get you through it. And when you get through it, you get rewarded with the wisdom, knowledge, and joy. A greater understanding, an insight of, oh, okay, great glory. Chapter 3. To everything there is a season, and a time to and a time to every purpose under the heaven, a time to be born or to bear, and a time to die, a time to plant and a time to pluck up that which is planted, a time to kill and a time to heal, a time to break down and a time to build up, a time to weep and a time to laugh, a time to mourn and a time to dance, a time to cast away stones and a time to gather stones together, a time to embrace and a time to refrain from embracing, a time to get or gain and a time to lose, a time to keep and a time to cast away, a time to rend or tear apart and a time to sow, a time to keep silence and a time to speak. That one I've definitely been, I love that one because I've been speaking when I'm spoken to. You typically, I used to just run my mouth water. Not in a bad way, I'm just like loose lip sync ships or snitching or anything like that. It just, you might be saying too much, you know? So know when to speak, you know? A time to love and a time to hate, a time of war and a time of peace. What profit hath he that worketh in that wherein he laboreth? That's deep. I have seen the travail which God hath given to the sons of men to be exercised in it. He hath made everything beautiful in his time. Also he hath set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that God maketh from the beginning to the end. I know that there is no good in them, but for a man to rejoice and to do good in his life, and also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of all his labor. It is the gift of God. I know that. Whatsoever God doeth, it shall be forever. God is your most loyal friend. You stay good to him, he's gonna be good to you. Even better than better. He's gonna be better than you than any of your homies, any of your badass kids, your wife, your husband. The most high God is gonna always have your back. If you turn your back, I promise you that's not what you want. And right now, The fear of the Lord is in the midst of all of us right now. And I feel that right now you got Saturn and Neptune conjunction. You got this Mercury cazimi. You have the sun spinning around 9 times, 9 meaning a loop. That 10th rotation, y'all, that's Michael. That's destruction. Right now, it is already elevated. It is heightened. All the magma from the bottom of the earth is starting to come up. You now see Kilauea exploding. It looks beautiful. You've seen so many volcanic activities going on. I believe in Iceland, I believe it's there, glacier decimated a whole city just like that. The sun just threw a coronal mass ejection, a solar flare this way. There's a big happy face on the sun that is directly facing us right now, y'all. Looks like a happy face. June 1st is the changing of so much stuff right now. The last time we had a massive solar flare like that was 1941. Do you know what happened in 1941? That was when the attack of Pearl Harbor happened. And many other events as well. That's why you must know thy history, because history does repeat itself some way, somehow. No matter how occupied you are in your GTA 6 right now, history ain't stepping to the side just because you occupied. History steps into the present to present themselves as a beautiful gift for you to listen and learn and accept and adjust, survive, endure, to prepare you for what's to come, which is the future, which is foresight. If you don't pay attention to your hindsight, you will never be able to have the true insight that you need to be able to navigate, to be able to get to your foresight. Something big is about to happen, y'all. Something is happening right now. This is about to be the hottest. Well, it's the start of it's about to be super hot today and tomorrow. And that's because it's solar flare. And people ain't recognizing that. Got a new moon. As much as we are paying attention to our minute problems, there's bigger things that are popping up now. And the fear of the Most High should be in the meditations of your day right now, of thinking and pondering, strong ponder on what the hell am I doing? Am I really living right? Am I really doing right? Am I really thinking right? I know it's hard to let go of a lot of things. I know it's hard to let go of that alcohol. I know it's hard to put down them cigarettes, the weed, all of your merchandises, your shoes and closets filled up with clothes. I know it's hard to let go of so much. We're so prideful. Pride is the first sin. It's the easiest and it's the hardest to break. But this is the time where you have to lighten your load completely. Too much baggage will not let you fly. Great glory. All right. I go on my little tangent. Excuse me, y'all. I love it. This is the sermon for the day, I guess. Felt that in my heart to speak. He has made every. Okay, let me go back. I have seen the travail which God hath given to the sons of men to be exercised in it. He hath made everything beautiful in his time, not in your time, his time. Also, he hath set the world in their heart, so that no man can find out the work that God maketh from the beginning to the end. And that's real. And how much man has mocked God and tried to defy the heavens and been blasphemous, and trying to build skyscrapers to scratch the skies or anything like that. You don't know the inner workings of God. People trying to, genetically modify DNA to make, gray wolves and cows and cattle and all type of things like that. Um, you got people who are trying to play God. You got people who think who think they're the judge, jury, and executioner. Cops walking around like they got a super God complex. We've dealt with that for 400 plus years. Were many of the Gentiles in 83? You white folks did walk around this mug thinking y'all was King Kong with a ding dong. And now you're finding out that you were never the original source, the original creator, knows the beginning to the end. He just wants to see if you're going to actually get in the game, if you're going to participate in it, whether it's good or bad. Yeah. I know that there is no good in them, but for a man to rejoice and to do good in his life, and also that every man should eat and drink and enjoy the good of all his labor. It is the gift of God. You should be able to prosper. You should be able to be monetarily compensated for your talents, your gifts, your products, your services. If it's in the same conjunction, as if it's in the same lane and intersection in the righteousness of the Most High, as long as you are following the laws, commandments, and statutes. As long as your moral compass is going in the right direction to the Most High, you'll be fine. You're going to go through the potholes and the roadblocks and the obstacles and traffic, just like in real life. You're going to go through these things. But you will be rewarded for putting in the labor, for putting in the work to show thyself approved to get there. I know that whatsoever God doeth, it shall be forever. No thing can be put to it or added to it. So what he says goes, nor anything taken from it, and God doeth it, that men should fear before him. That which hath been is now, and that which is to be hath already been, and God requireth that which is past. Wow, that's so bars, that's bars. Excuse me. And moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment. I just said about the sun. I just said about the sun. I didn't expect that the sun is bringing judgment. You're going to see a lot of people, like my phone before I even got on here. There's been a massive amount of people who have just passed away. That I get notifications of the amount of people that pass away, celebrities, notable people and things like that. It's people that are dropping like flies right now. It is about to be 105 degrees out here. There's a lot of people that have gotten way older who have no help. They are all alone, walking outside and everything. I go and walk and do my walking in the morning, and I see people behind the dumpsters and got no protection. It is out here really serious right now. The sun is helping the weather. The sun is helping the plants and the trees and the animals. You're seeing so many tornadoes rip through communities, and you see, and then the beautiful thing about drones is that it gives you a bird's eye view, a sky view, and you're able to see that all of these infrastructures are all destroyed, but none of the trees. It's interesting. It's very interesting. You're seeing plant life grow exponentially in places where human life used to be. There's complete empty cities around the whole country and the whole world. They're selling property in Italy for $1. They're selling property in Detroit for $100. This is really real out here. No, Mississippi, Kansas, Wyoming, yeah. You're seeing massive populations of animals thrive now. All of that COVID where people got shut down and couldn't go outside. all of these trails, well, all of these wildfires that have burnt places, national parks where, and that's something that's telling me that these national parks, these beautiful places where our people used to reside are now calling us back. You know, people were restricted from these lands and then they get opened back up. And then the animal populations have exponentially grown to where you have massive amounts of bears. The snakes are even bigger than they have ever been right now. Burmese pythons, anacondas. These things are huge now, y'all. Huge. I'm not talking about babies. This is the year of the snake. You have Denver snake dens. Pennsylvania, well, every single state nearly right now has snake dens right now. And you're not talking about and if you look at the stock market, the stocks that are associated with snake venom, those are, those are, I pay attention to everything, y'all. I'm just a nerd. I'm just a nerd with a book. I'm a humble nerd with a book. And you're seeing the populations of wolves, of snakes, of all of the most vicious animals that were hunted down by human population, people going over to Africa hunting these beautiful animals. You're hunting thousands of pounds animals just to take one little smidget of what they had, the ivory. When you think about even the movies that are out there, say like Avatar, you know, they would take this little blue gel out of a beautiful animal, hunting, excavating, barbaric savagery over the lands, and the animals are speaking. There's been devilfish and oarfish popping up on every coast right now. There's been over 20,000 tremors in California alone, along the North American plate. The first craton, the first step ladder of like land and sediment. There's like 3 different steps. You got first craton, second craton, third craton. The first craton goes up to about Barstow area and cuts up. You know, that's the San Andreas Fault. Then from San Andreas, you got all the way to, let's say, the Rocky Mountains. And then from there, you hit the harder sediment, which is still softer because you're dealing with Yellowstone National Park, which I drove around. The sun, the planetary pools are extracting, are working and conjuring and bringing things to life. The sun is shining truth upon everything. So I just wanted to go into that because I have been watching the news and I haven't reported on it yet for a minute, but I will. But that's my little. The sun, and moreover, I saw under the sun the place of judgment, that wickedness was there. And as you can see, you're seeing all of the wickedness that is amongst us right now. You're seeing all of the wickedness amongst us coming out, whether it's sex trafficking, pedophilia, murder, rape, fraud, financial fraud. It's a lot of financial fraud that's coming out right now, to where a lot of these systems are not sustainable. They're not being able to be upheld. Things are collapsing more than you really have a good grasp on right now. So the place of righteousness, that iniquity was there. I said in my heart, and God shall judge the righteous and the wicked. So ain't nobody exempt. Ain't nobody exempt. I'm not exempt. You're not exempt. God is judging right now. God shall judge the righteous and the wicked, for there is a time there for every purpose and for every work. So everything that you've ever said, done, thought of, yeah, is being duly noted. I said in my heart concerning the estate of the sons of men, that God might manifest or test them. God is testing everybody who done did. God tested me when I messed up and I trespassed and I backslid and I backbited. God tested me and I realized how much I needed to still grow or learn. He's testing you even when you think that, oh, Jacob's trouble is no more, or no, we're still in a delusional phase right now. We're still in disbelief. You still have many brothers and sisters out here who don't understand, don't comprehend, don't think. They think that they're exempt or not touchable. God will touch you in many ways that you won't even think. He'll take your mama out. He'll make your mama get into a car accident and show her near dead in front of you right now. You know? He will do that because he's testing you. He wants to see if you are going to mess up down the line. He'll make you trip down the stairs and break your ankle and put you in a cast. He will do that. He will humble thy heart. He will snow your house out in a blizzard and take your car, break your car down so you gotta walk to work to clean up those bathrooms, sir. He will test you. He will see. He will test you. And he will see. And that they might see that they themselves are beasts. Wow. And I recognize that. I realized how humbled I was. How much of a horrible scumbag that I was acting like. How much I was hurting people, doing the wrong things, saying the wrong things, going the wrong direction. He will reveal, like they said, the sun is shining truth and judgment on, yeah, you are who you have been. And if you don't repent, yeah, he'll show you his might. For that which befalleth the sons of man befalleth beast. Even one thing befalleth them, as the one dieth, so dieth the other. Yea, they have all one breath, so that a man hath no preeminence or advantage above the beast, for all is vanity. It's like, yeah, you went off and started trying to kill off all these animals. You're not above them. That's you thinking you too sweet, you too cute, you think you untouchable. God will touch you in the most mysterious, surprising way. He is a thief in the night. He will come and get you. Don't play with God. Not right now. Not ever. You tried once, and whether you kept on trying after that, all you're doing is just building up compound interest. I realize that. And I need to change it and take responsibility for the error of my ways, my words and actions. And so should you. Yeah. Ain't about apologizing to no man. It's about asking for forgiveness from the Most High. Because you can sit here and apologize to man and woman all day and every day, and they just want to use that as ammunition or be diabolical. People never forgive you because they have never forgiven themselves. So sometimes you just actually just got to be like, okay, I just got to wash my hands of these things. Okay. Duly noted. All go unto one place. all are all are of the dust, and all turn to dust again. Who knoweth the spirit of man that goeth upward, and the spirit of the beast that goeth downward to the earth? Wherefore I perceive that there is nothing better than that a man should rejoice in his own works, for that is his portion. For who shall bring him to see what shall be after him? Chapter 4. So I returned and considered that all oppressions that are done under the sun, and behold the tears of such as were oppressed. And they had no comforter, and on the side of their oppressors there was power, but had no comforter. You got many who are leaders who take advantage of people who are vulnerable. They find safe haven and comfort and peace in being involved with the collective and the group and the community, the nation, and people will take advantage of it. We are man, we're still woman, we're still susceptible to the flesh. People still operate in those still devious ways and try to just mask it over. Just because you put a pamper over it doesn't mean it's still, that doesn't change the fact that it's boo-boo inside of it, you know? Wherefore I praise the dead, which are already dead, more than the living, which are yet alive. That's facts. People living their lives and ain't even really alive, you know? Yea, better is he than both they, which hath not yet been, who hath not seen the evil work that is done under the sun. Man, that's crazy. That better is he than both they, the people that are dead and alive. And that kind of just takes me back to when I was 4 years old getting stabbed by a damn crackhead. Being witnessing the evil work that is done under this sun, that man is capable of doing. Since that point, it allowed me to reconsider, you know, the things that I was doing in my life. And it was only by my own foolishness that I may have kept trying to indulge or peek over the fence or look through the peephole of trying to be like, well, I want to do that too. I don't want to be left out. But you're supposed to be better because he gave you an opportunity to be better than the living and the dead. Because the dead got where they got to for a reason. And the living are here for a reason, but they don't want to live that reason. You want to live through the vanity and the idolatry, the worshiping. We're living to indulge in sin. It's like, it's deep. Again, I consider all the travail, or saw all the toil, and every right work, that for this a man is envy of his neighbor. So because you try to live a good life or you try to actually do the right thing, people hate you. They judge you. You become a mirror image of what they should become. They hate you for three reasons. They hate themselves, they want to be like you, or they see you as a threat. And I have dealt with all three my whole life, from brothers who I thought was my brothers or friends, who really underhandedly hated me because of what the Most High gave me and blessed me with. And people will hate you because of what the Most High gave you. They're not going to be appreciative or be congratulatory to what the Most High gave them. But because you have something that they're envying, they're going to covet thy neighbor, whether it's your wife, whether it's your musical talent and your skills. Ooh, back itch. Feel like somebody trying to stab me in the back, huh? And I've had friends that I thought was friends stab me in the back. Thought they was my brothers. Did all wrong. Coveting the things that I had. Got close to me just to see what I was doing, what I had going on. Never really had malice intention. Most High knows the meditation of your heart, sir. You can try to fake the funk all you want and be in denial. But people now are envying so many people around them just because they're not at where they want to be at, whether it's financially, physically, emotionally, psychologically. Some people are just, they're frustrated because they see you happy. They see you have peace. They see you cool when you chilling. You ain't even tripping. It's like, okay, you told me you kicked me out. I'm not a part of, not a part of the game. All right. But when you start creating your own party over there and it's more funner, it's a lot more exciting. There's a lot more things going on. People, well, what's going on over there? It's always a little jealousy and whatever. But people want what you have instead of them being focused on what they have. Yeah, great glory. Again, I considered all travail and every right work, that for this a man is envy of his neighbor. This is also vanity and vexation of spirit. Man, some people are haters, man. The fool foldeth his hands together and eateth his own flesh, consumes his own flesh. The fool gets mad and crosses his arms and gets mad at what you're doing. Yeah, because you do it better than them. Always have, always will. Whether it comes to the music I make, the beats I make, the food I make, the peace that I have, the intelligence that I have, people are always going to hate and be envious and jealous of what you're capable of doing because they never thought of it. They could never do what you do. And you can't walk around with talent remorse or gift remorse, what the Most High gave you. You can't have remorse for that. You stand in your confidence and your purpose. That's your purpose. You ain't got to be worried about somebody being, their feelings and their insecurities being fractured and frazzled, their feathers getting fluffed. Just because you become a mirror image of what they should become, because you work harder, you grind harder, we got all the same 24 hours in a day. I'm not better than you. Just make better choices. But we fault each other for it. And we try to suppress our mind, our body, our spirit, and subjugate ourselves to supplicating to the ones around us because they can't keep up, because they don't want to put in the work to keep up. So they want you to slow down. And so we realize that the people that may be around us may be weaponized as a guerrilla tactic to slow you down. Yeah. Better is a handful with quietness than both the hands full with travail and vexation of spirit. Then I returned, and I saw vanity under the sun. There is one alone, and there is not a second. Yea, he hath neither child nor brother. Yet is there no end of all his labor. Neither is his eye satisfied with riches. Neither saith he, for whom do I labor, and bereave my soul of good? This is also vanity. Yea, it is a sore travail. Man, we speaking on vanity. Getting mad at somebody else. Yeah. You didn't do the labor. You didn't do the labor, but you want to reap the rewards. There's no honor amongst thieves. Yeah, there's no honor amongst thieves. Mm-mm. And that's when the Most High shows you the most honorable one. He's like, no, I'm just gonna take it from you, in front of you. Why are you looking? Why you feel it? Why you taste it? Why you see it? Neither saith he, for whom do I labor and bereave my soul of good? This is also vanity, and yea, it is a sore travail. Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow or companion. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he has not another to help him up. Yeah, it's kind of where I fall into. Whenever I was falling, I would watch so many people that I wouldn't be around. Like I would always lift everybody up. And when I was going through stuff, people literally like dissed me, walked out, kicked me to the curb, and did it in the most dynamic and epic, horrible fashion. That's why I say God don't like ugly. He sees everything you did. Whether you think that it was righteous in your sight, no. Because you think it's your sight, no. Did you try to justify when you try to do wrong? No. Mm-mm-mm. Again, if two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? And that's interesting because we are on a walk alone. And I wonder and I realize how cold this world is by myself. Like I have none of the people that I used to hang out with for the last 7 years, last 10 years, these. Every one of the homies that I used to hang out with, whether it's in California, Indiana, in the 8K Nation, nobody deals with me. They love me, but they fear me at the same time. They fear what I've become. They didn't like what they saw. I didn't like what I saw. And, that's not up to nobody else's responsibility to deal with what I'm dealing with. You know, take your time out, Prime. Go deal with that over there. I still love you know. But when it comes with the malice and ill intent, the God, the Most High God sees the meditation of your heart that you are either opportunist, you're a leech, a savage, you did some stupid stuff. But I know that I've taken full accountability and responsibility, and I don't choose my consequences, and I'd rather not try to. But I know that it's a cold world out here. Even in the summertime, it's hot. But to be able to walk and stand on your own, and know that you know the Most High is literally walking you through the steps of be ye separate, saith the Lord. Touch not the unclean thing, because even the people that I was around was unclean. They thought that they was perfect. They thought that they was self-righteous. They was putting themselves on a pedestal. That they didn't do no wrong. Even in the midst of those friendships, those relationships, all them exes, they thought that they ain't doing nothing wrong. They never apologized, even to the people. I've always apologized to the people that I actually did wrong, and I meant it. I didn't go back around. They stopped dealing with me because of whatever the infraction was that serious enough for them to stop dealing with me. And I'm okay. I'm glad that I was left alone to be able to reflect and have that deep introspection, to be able to have the time to do my shadow work because of the trauma or the problems and the issues that I know I needed to address that may not have been addressed because maybe my vanity. My vanity was my insanity. It was like I was two different versions, like I was Superman and Clark Kent. You know, my Trayvon was Clark Kent, and Prime Black was the Superman. And Prime Black was always the one who was the protector of the fragile, hurt victim of Trayvon, and self-loathing and denial and delusion and self-pity and any of those things, just because of being able to have to really address the things in my life that may have gotten swept under the rug because you know the sense of trying to, what's the word I'm doing, what I'm looking for? Try to gain the attention of my fathers, to try to be good in the sight of my fathers, or overcompensate or overindulge or overextend. And we find out that all of that was not necessary. To be able to take a step back and recognize all of your wrongdoings within your shadow work, to be able to acknowledge that, and to be able to address it within yourself, whether you never get a chance to be able to talk to these people again or not like that, just move on. Let it go. You did your part. Just like it says in here, people in your life for a season, a reason, or a lifetime. And it's like, do you still love me when I tell you no? It's interesting because people have always typically been, I would say definitely about 90% of the people that have been in my life, for a long time, they have been the ones that have walked out of my life. I've never kicked, never have them. I've always had a welcome open door policy to people that it may have been mad because I may have hurt their feelings or I may have broken up with them or anything like that. I've always had just a loving heart and compassion. Not saying that I wasn't guarded or anything like that, but it was never just that serious, because life is short. To be able to see the people that know you since you were born to be gone, to be expecting complete strangers. Like I said, within the last 10 years, even within the 8K nation, for people that exactly know who you are, never been around you, we're virtually buddies, but when you actually see them and they actually see you and actually get a different identification of who you really are, you know, that creates envy because of the strength that you have to be able to get through what you have gotten through. And people look at that and look at themselves as like, oh, I don't know how I could have handled that. And that's why I always ask people, like, what would you do if somebody touched your child? You know, I always ask people all type of questions because it's necessary. Because who are you to judge? Who are you to judge? Because you have ways too. You have done wrong too. You have done wrong too. And when you've done wrong, maybe you need a timeout. Maybe God needed to put you on that timeout for you to be able to listen and reflect on what you have done wrong. And that's okay. Sometimes you need your toys taken away. Sometimes you need the people in your life to be taken away for you to be able to understand that, you really took that for granted. And I'm so grateful for the Most High to be able to give these lessons, to be able to take a step back, to be able to move forward. And that's a beautiful thing when you're able to do that. Sometimes you have to be alone, as I am now. You know, I had a vehicle, I would drive around to see everybody, and I wasn't getting nothing done. None of my stuff that I'm doing now. I promise you that. I was not getting what I needed to get done. It was double dutching into it. I was being of service to everybody, overcompensated because I wanted to belong or feel loved because, hey, whether it's Pops or anybody else, just didn't rock with me or didn't want to love me or didn't want to show me that. And it's just like, damn, why am I not getting it? Maybe if I do this, they may actually show me love. Maybe if I do that, maybe they may appreciate me or I may be welcomed or accepted. And so now I was always on a probationary period. And even then, it was always just everybody had an angst towards like it was already in check to checkmate. So regardless of how much work that you may labor to try to build and cultivate something, if people are not meeting you halfway with an unconditional heart, it will never work out that way. But you have to understand we are living in a wicked world where man's flesh is susceptible to sin. And we keep trying to seek validation with man and flesh and sin instead of going in the proper direction of righteousness with the Most High God. Great glory. There is one alone, there is not a second, that he hath neither child nor brother, yet is there no end of all his labor, neither is his eye satisfied with riches. Neither saith he, for whom do I labor, and bereave my soul of good? This is also vanity. Yea, it is a sore travail. Two are better than one, because they have a good reward for their labor. For if they fall, the one will lift up his fellow. But woe to him that is alone when he falleth, for he hath not another to help him up. Again, if two lie together, then they have heat. But how can one be warm alone? And if one prevail against him, two shall withstand him, and a threefold cord is not quickly broken. Better is a poor and a wise child or youth than an old and foolish king, who will no more or no longer be admonished. For out of prison he cometh to reign, whereas also he that is born in his kingdom becometh poor. I consider all the living which walk under the sun with the second child or youth that shall stand up in his stead. There is no end of all the people, even of all that have been before them. They also that come after shall not rejoice in him. Surely this also is vanity and vexation of spirit. Chapter 5. I keep thy foot when thou goest to the house of God, and be more ready to hear than to give the sacrifice of fools. For they consider not that they do evil. And that's really denial of survival. You know, to be able to hear, the answers to the pop quiz after you have already committed the transgression is a blessing. To be able to like, oh man, okay, I just went through this breakup, but God just gave me this beautiful download of like, this is where you messed up. You know what I'm saying? Like, boom, right in your face. This is where you messed up. Did you hear it? Did you get the message? You did all of this wrong to bring it to this result, to bring it to this circumstance. And then you don't consider that, no, I didn't do no wrong and it wasn't my fault. Denial is survival. And that's what's going on right now because a lot of people are desperate to try to get to that trinket, to that dollar bill. A lot of people are desperate right now. Be not rash with thy mouth, and let not thine heart be hasty to utter anything before God. For God is in heaven, and thou upon earth. Therefore, let thy words be few. Amen. And I have. I ain't really spoke up about it. I've been just locked in. It's like, man, I was so just, idle mind is a devil's playground. You start thinking and focusing on all of the wrong things. You go into a bad headspace. You start being preoccupied with things that are distracting. You start not getting your projects done. You start not getting your work done. You start not showing attention and affection to your children, your wife, your husband. Yeah, it takes that time. Got to sacrifice that. For God is in heaven and upon the earth, therefore thy words be few. For a dream cometh through the multitude of business or effort or activity. Your dreams come true when you work them out, when you actually put in the work. And a fool's voice is known by a multitude of words. So that means like you're all sizzle and no steak. There's 4 different stages of, okay, well, I'm about to, I'm trying, I'm doing, and I'm done. Oh, I'm about to do it. Oh, I'm about to pay this light bill. Oh man, I'm trying to pay this light bill, but I ain't got the money. Well, I got the money. I did some work to, now I'm doing what it takes to get on the bus to go to the, pay this light bill. Oh, yes, thank you. All right. I got off the bus. I'm here. I'm paying the light bill. It's done. That's when you ran through the finish line. You know? That's when you celebrate. In the midst of it, you just stay locked in. You never be set. You can be grateful for each step, but you never settle. You never, just get too content with thinking that this is a marathon. You got to keep rolling and rocking with the punches. When thou vowest a vow unto God, defer not to pay it. Defer not to pay it. Do not delay. When you vowest a vow, when you say and you keep your word, when you say, "Oh, I'll make a priest promise to you," and stuff like that, be a man of your word. Be impeccable with your word. Don't call me your brother, and I was never your brother. Don't say that we good and we never was good, and you ain't never communicated out of your mouth. You just made a emotional, brash decision to do what you do, to say what you say. You gonna pay for it. God gonna make you pay for what you do because you made that covenant. You made that covenant with God. You made those vows. You made that declaration out of your mouth. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. I just seen a comment post online where this lady was like, "Yo, I've been with my man forever. He got into a car accident. He paralyzed, but he can't satisfy me. I don't know what to do. Till death do us part, rich or poor, sickness and health." Ma'am, when we make these vows and we don't pay to them, to however the long the timeline is, that's our problem. We keep sitting here acting like when we were in the fire, like, "Oh Lord, oh, how long, woe me, how long will it take before I get to where I need to get?" No, you're gonna have to pay. You're gonna have to pay the price in order to get what you love and what is nice. Better is it that thou shouldest not vow than that thou shouldest vow and not pay. So don't commit to nothing that you know that you can't back up. Don't get into no arena that you know that you can't swing the hammer on. You know, be a man of your word. Be impeccable with thy word. Suffer not thy mouth to cause the flesh to sin. Neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. Oh, I made a mistake. Oh, I'm just playing. There's not enough "I'm just playing" when you say something really just, disgusting. Life and death is in the power of the tongue. Even for me, like with my words, I killed my relationships with the women that I was dating. With my words, I killed my relationship, my friendships with people that I rocked with, that I thought rocked back with me. But it only takes one pinky toe to overstep your boundaries with people to where they don't have to tolerate you no more. I'm not mad at that. I'm not mad at that because me, even I'm speaking to myself, if you could not be conscientious enough to watch your mouth or watch what you do and just kept double dutching on people's boundaries and being disrespectful, you really didn't have no respect for them. You really didn't love them like you thought you did. Now you may have been oblivious and in the clouds and thinking that all was good, and that's because we've been used to that kind of trauma. We've been used to that kind of treatment. We've been used to that type of conditioning and programming. And when somebody is trying to elevate and evolve and be like, "Look, hey, that's not the lane that I'm trying to be on. I'm trying to be a little bit more calmer and peace. I'm trying to be at least a little bit more nicer. I'm trying to be a lot more forward and honest, and truthful, you know." And you just kind of stomping on that joy, but you know, it's like, I appreciate the honesty, but don't you know that you lied about it from the get go? So it's like, but that person has to take that accountability in themselves as well. So, yeah, nobody's hands is clean. Suffer not thy mouth to cause the flesh to sin, neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice or excuse and destroy the work of thy hands? Wow, that's deep. So you want God to hear your excuse of why you just keep repeatedly, constantly not following the commandments? God don't want to keep hearing your excuses of why you cannot have discipline and control over your flesh. Why you cannot keep your in your panties. Or why you can't keep your in your drawers. He don't want to hear your excuses of why you keep hurting and taking the life essence of, of, of living beings, whether it's plants, animals, or people. You think you want to keep hearing your excuse of why you just can't, why you keep stealing people's energy, people's money, why you keep looking at your homie's girlfriend, saying that, oh man, I find your girl attractive, man. Whether it's outspoken or in your thoughts, it don't matter. It ain't even got to be your homie. It can be a regular person on the street for you to be coveting thy neighbor. Everybody is your neighbor. Do you love thy neighbor if the devil's next door? And many times people covet other people's things. This is envy. This is jealousy. And God ain't trying to keep hearing your excuses. You can't be mad when he gets angry because you kept hanging our brothers and sisters from nooses and trees. He don't want to hear your excuses now of why you redlined communities for your benefit. You don't want to hear your excuses of why you put your knee on George Floyd's neck when you just did it the last 9 times and you didn't learn your lesson. And then this fabricated judicial system partake in authority that is not ordained to them to give you a God complex, to feeling that you are covered behind supremacist privilege and a systemic system. God don't want to keep hearing you crying and whining because you was getting away with it. You was knowingly, conscientiously, comprehensively knowing what you were doing. Every time I picked up about, every time I did something I know I wasn't supposed to be doing, I wasn't supposed to be doing it. And I kept doing it. And I kept getting mad and crying and whining. Like, what? You don't want to keep hearing your excuse of why you keep walking down the street to go grab that liquor bottle? You don't want to hear your excuse of why you keep trying to sleep with all of your homies' friends, girlfriends, wives. The Most High God is done with everybody's excuses right now. He's given us all the time that we needed. You're even lucky you have time. Some people ain't got no time. I promise y'all, I cried yesterday because I seen this 3-year-old get taken out by her babysitter. Beautiful child. Beautiful. And it's amazing what the adults are doing to the children right now. There was an episode that I just started watching a show called Love, Death, and Robots. And it was an episode on there where they were like the police going around, you know, executing children for their life source, so they can live forever. And that's another thing I just read is about mocking. That's vanity. You want to still be beautiful and priceless, and you're willing, like you have no shame in taking a life. See, you're gonna get deep. You ain't gonna leave nothing off the table. But the Most High God is angry. He's not trying to hear your excuses no more. For in the multitude of dreams and many words, there are also divers vanities. But fear thou God. If thou seest the oppression of the poor and violent perverting of judgment and justice in the province, marvel not at the matter. For he that is higher than the highest regardeth, and there be higher than thee. So it's like, yeah, you're seeing all of you're seeing the Trayvon Martins of the world and the George Floyds of the world, stuff like that. Like, God is in control. That is what he's saying. Like, I'm higher than whatever judgment that they're trying to cast out on that. Don't take matters into your own hand. Follow my commandments. If you got to turn the other cheek, so be it. You got to look at it like little league or pee-wee football, where Your team just lost. You got to go shake the other opponent's hand. Good game. Okay. I'll go back to the drawing board. I hit the showers. I'm gonna come back with a bigger and better attitude. Moreover, the profit of the earth is for all. The king himself is served by the field. The earth is for all. It really is. And it's in the hands of a chosen few thinking that they know how to wrangle the people like we're cattle. And that's what we're looked at as. And the mentality and the mentality and the philosophy and the operating mechanisms of the infrastructure for capitalism is built off of that. The Willie Lynch letters built off of that. All these different is all built from some type of perverted pyramidal scheme. It's weird. He that loveth silver shall not be satisfied with silver, nor he that loveth abundance with increase. This is also vanity. And look how many people that we see who are just not happy. Who can actually change the world? Elon Musk could have changed the world. This man over here trying to go all the way to Mars. You know, his little rocket ship and satellites, they all got knocked out. Lost connection with Mars and all of these different things. And even though they can't do nothing about it. They ain't nowhere. You can't go out of the firmament. You don't have access. You don't have the ability to do any of these things. But you're looking at all these people who got all these millions and billions of dollars who could change. Like I said, it says the earth is for all. It's not for just a few. It's for all of us to be able to plant plentiful, to be able to receive and give back. Only take what you need. Don't take what you want. That's gluttony. That's greed. That's vanity. Now, all the people that have never been satisfied, look at Diddy in his situation. The man wasn't satisfied with, he wanted ultimate power. Look, all these people who wanted ultimate power: Epstein, Weinstein, Bernie Madoff, Jeff Bezos, Trump. You got all of these people of power having a egotistical pissing contest. And now it's backfiring on them because nobody's happy, nobody's satisfied. Nobody's satisfied with the edification of the word of the Most High's word right here. This is what's going to fill you up. This is what's going to give you peace. This is what's going to give you love and joy and happiness. It truly gives me that, because I was chasing all the wrong things: money, cars, clothes, women, a good time, whatever. And you lose sight of yourself in the midst of all of these things. You truly do. You lose sight of yourself. And it's never enough. It's like a sugar rush. It's a sugar high. When goods increase, they are increased that eat them. And what good is there to the owners thereof, saying the beholding of them with their eyes. The sleep of a laboring man is sweet, whether he eat little or much, but the abundance of the rich will not suffer him to sleep. There is a sore evil, or a severe evil, which I have seen under the sun, namely riches kept for the owners thereof to their hurt. But those riches perish by evil or misfortune, and he begetteth a son, and there is nothing in his hand. And look what's happening to so many people who have accumulated all of this wealth. Can't leave it down to nobody. They have been nothing but Scrooge McDucks. They don't trust nobody, and it's rightfully so. This is the Mad Max effect. None of these people that you put in high positions and high stature have ever truly, really did enough more than they could to really change. And they wasn't going to change anything because they haven't changed themselves. That's where the ultimate change starts in the world, y'all. It starts with yourself. I've learned that firsthand. I am speaking from firsthand experience. You have to change yourself before you can change anything outside of you. You can't change nobody if you are not leading by example. Simple as that. You have to change yourself first. You have to completely separate yourself from everything that you know has not been nutritionally edifying to your mind, body, and spirit. All of that hard work you done did, and now it's all gone. All of it's gone. As he came forth of his mother's womb, naked shall he return to go as he came, and shall take nothing of his labor, which he may carry away in his hand. That's exactly what this is. We sit here and fight over all of these things. You can't take none of this stuff with you. All of the ladies that got closets full of clothes and purses and makeup and heels, and you can't take none of this with you, y'all. All the women that have so much money, and I love it. Y'all could be building and doing so much more with what y'all have together. But even then, it's hard to do that because the infestation of the sisterhood. It's hard for men to do it because of the infestation of brotherhood. There's too many compartmentalizations and groupings and sects and creeds and cults and things like that, and nations and races, and yes. And we find ourselves in such a animalistic primal factor. That don't mean that just leave your door wide open. Like, I wouldn't leave my door wide open for just any and everybody to walk in, flies coming in, everybody's cats, rats and dogs. But understand this. What truly matters to you? That answer that to yourself, that question. What really matters to you? The whole closet of shoes, all them sneakers, brothers? Or being able to be at peace with all of the scumbag shit you did? Of being able to repent? To be able to finally forsake yourself from backsliding over and over again? Because now you're realizing that the temptations are getting way much more stronger. It is hot and heavy out here. It is a lot going on. But you cannot take any of these things with you. The main thing you're supposed to be working on right now and focusing on is your spirit. Working on your mind, body, and spirit. That's the number one priority right now. But because you can't change anything around you if you have not worked on yourself right now. Working. Oh, everybody, in all the TikTok videos, everybody were just like, I don't know what to do. Downsize. Separate yourself. Release. Let go. You can't take it with you. You don't need that BBL. You don't need 400 more shoes, sir. We have been addicted to wanting to have so many things that it has. We're not even who we thought we was no more. We have become a whole different version of who we should have been in the first place. We start losing ourselves. We start drifting away into things, people, places, things, and ideas We start idolizing these things, all of these brands. We truly do. And this also is a sore evil or a severe evil. And it is that in all points as he came, so shall he go. And what profit a man and what profit hath he that hath labored for the wind? You've just been laboring this whole time just to pass the time, just to waste your life away. And you realize like, dang, I ain't got nothing done. I think about that all the time and trying to be so purposeful with my life of what can I do for real? Like, help me, Lord, because I'm so attached to this, I'm so attached to that. Yeah, you're sitting here just going off in the wind, blowing away this way, that way. You have no foundation. That's a very scary place to be in your life, no matter what age. All his days also that all his days also excuse me. All his days also he eateth in darkness, and he hath much sorrow and wrath with his sickness. And that is a sickness. It's a sickness. Literally, you're addicted. You're addicted to the world. You're addicted to the wickedness. You're addicted to the vanity. You're addicted to the superficialities. You're addicted to all of the material things of this world. You're obsessed. People are obsessed with not wanting to be themselves because they're ashamed of who they are. Slap on so much makeup. People will buy all these cars just to compensate. The Most High said, just come as you are. I know you're sick, my child. Let me help heal you. Let me help remove some of the venom that's in your system. Let me help remove some of the toxins. Let me remove the bacteria. Let me remove the infection. Behold, that which I have seen, it is good and comely for one to eat and to drink, and to enjoy the good of all his labor. Yeah, it's good that he taketh under the sun all the days of his life, which God giveth him, for it is his portion. Like, yeah, you're going to be rewarded when your work is in the right way. If you out here trying to get it how you live, no, you're going against every commandment, statute. Your moral compass is going with the wind. It's all over the place. There's humility and grace and favor shown to those who stay consistently on the path of the Most High. It's just something beautiful about just being able to separate yourself from what everybody else is doing. Like, I have truly separated myself from people that I know was like, I know if I stay around these folks, man, I know that my life is just not going to be all right. That I know that I'm just about to end up locked up right next to their dumbass because they constantly keep doing it in front of me. And if you don't take heed to the warning signs that God has given you, you're like, hey, I try to warn you. You could have been eating this portion, but now I got to take your portion. Every man also to whom God hath given riches and wealth, and have given him power to eat thereof, and to take his portion, and to rejoice in his labor, this is the gift of God. Great glory. For he shall not much remember the days of his life, because God answereth him in the joy of his heart, or he keeps him busy. Most of the time that you working and you busy, and you in your passion, your purpose that God gave you ain't even thinking about none of this stupid stuff. I promise you, even as much as how much I am like my ears to the streets, you know, my ears to the wall, like I'm locked in. It's like I'm still not in. Like I'm in because I know I see everywhere. But when you're locked into what the Most High got for you, He's gonna keep you busy. Like your heart is gonna be good. Like you gotta worry. Like you will get to where you need to get to if you can discipline yourself from not being distracted by the devices, by the wicked devices. Why do you think they keep double timing down right now? They're so desperate. All of these systems, the whole Babylon is falling. Babylon is falling. Why do you think they're doubling down on all of these different things? The GTA 6s of the world, the Gucci Louis clothing brands. Why do you think you got food companies merging together to double down on your stomach because they know that food is, a way to a hurt person's heart. Not in the sense of that, but it's their particular style of food or business practices are to attack people who are going through these, mental and emotional and character and personal personality characteristic deficiencies. Going through a breakup. Oh, go get a big old bucket of ice cream. You know what I'm saying? Like even Wendy's is offering little burgers for 1 penny, y'all. You got to see the wicked is they have the ability to do this because they got the money, they got the time, they got the resources. Squeezed. They didn't already squeezed everybody for years and years. They can afford to sell you a burger for 1 penny. You're not thinking about it. Your stomach is just thinking about it because it's growling. But these people know what they're doing, y'all. Chapter 6. There is an evil which I have seen under the sun, and it is common among men. A man to whom God hath given riches, wealth, and honor, so that he wanteth nothing for his soul, of all that he desireth. Yet God giveth him not power to eat thereof, but a stranger eateth it. This is vanity, and it is an evil disease. Wow. See, if a man beget 100 children and live many years, so that the days of his years be many, and his soul be not filled with good, and also that he have no burial, I say that an untimely birth is better than he. Wow, that's deep. For he cometh in with vanity, and departeth in darkness, and his name shall be covered with darkness. Moreover, he hath not seen the sun, nor known anything. This hath more rest than the other. Yea, though he live 1,000 years twice, told yet he, or 1,000, 1,000, yea, though he live 1,000 years twice over, yet he hath seen no good. Do not all go to one place? So, that's deep. Let's go. All right. That's deep. All the labor of man is for his mouth, and yet the appetite is not filled. Literally, your soul is not. Man, most of our labor is for us. We do all of these things and we mask it. We're masters at masking. We become masters at masking. We have whole college courses on how to mask, you know? And so we try to convince ourselves that what we're doing is for, oh, it's for the church. We're trying to get this building fund for the church roof. You know, we're doing this for Jesus. Or the sister that's in the strip club, or the brother that's on the corner trying to sell drugs. You're not doing it for the glory of the Most High. Yeah, you're going to get rewarded from it, but it's not a reward that you think that it is a reward. It's just a part of the process. Like, as a means and an end. It's like being in a hamster wheel. It's like you think you're going to be turned off from the hamster wheel in another direction. It's like, no, you're still taking the steps. You're thinking that you may be turning, but no, why am I still going the same direction? I ain't turning. It's because it's for your mouth. You're not going in the way of the Most High. You get yourself lost. For what hath the wise more than a fool? What hath the poor that knoweth to walk before the living? Better is the sight of the eyes than the wandering of the desire. Wow. This is also vanity and vexation of the spirit. That which hath been is named already, and it is known that it is man. Neither may he contend with him that is mightier than he. Yeah, so stay in your lane. Stop trying to be the master in your white belt. You can aspire one day, but you can't beat the master. You can't beat the master. And why would you even try to? That which hath been, all right, yeah, that which hath been named already, and it is known that it is man. Neither may he contend with that is mightier than he. Seeing there be many things that increase vanity, what is man the better? For who knoweth that is that for who knoweth what is good for man in his life, all the days of his vain life, which he spendeth as a shadow. For who can tell a man what shall be after him under the sun? Okay, so I'm gonna stop there because I gotta go take care of something. So we're gonna come back, and that is the end of chapter 6 of Ecclesiastes. My apologies, beloved.